During my playthrough of Hogwarts Legacy, I can thankfully say that in terms of bugs and glitches, it was largely uneventful, in terms of major issues at least. And besides for a few visual glitches, I encountered only 3 issues that really presented themselves as being noteworthy for this video. Now, hopefully Avalanche is already working on a fix, but if not, at least you can have some idea what annoying issues you might encounter during your playthrough. And also feel free to tell me any of the bugs or glitches that you've personally encountered while playing through the game in the comments below. The first issue I noticed in-game was problems related to the Revelio Spell, that basically just detects the enemies and the objects around you. While this is not really game-breaking, it can actually be pretty annoying, and the problem is that it does not always detect the things around you, especially when it comes to some of the quest objectives like the demiguise statues for Mr. Moon. Now, these are needed to unlock the 3 levels of the spell Alohomora, allowing you to open the locked doors and chests. And in my experience, a few of them would not be detected when standing near them, others would only be detectable if you're like in a few feet of them, and others could just be clearly seen from over 100 feet away. Now, this was not a huge issue, especially in the small towns, with only 1 statue and 3 to 5 buildings to actually search. However, when looking through Hogwarts or Hogsmeade, it became incredibly annoying with the large area that I actually needed to search. With Hogsmeade, it wasn't really that bad because the map clearly outlines the buildings and you can actually, take a systematic approach to where you're looking. But with Hogwarts, the map only offers a very vague pathing and generalized locations, which means it's rather tedious to explore over and over again for these, demiguise statues that you are just, of course, going to miss because you can't see them all. My advice would be to basically just find all the statues in the towns in Hogsmeade first, and then kind of save Hogwarts for last, depending on how many you actually need to get for the quests. My second issue comes with a bit of a warning. Be careful when exploring the world. You might just glitch out quests and basically just be unable to complete them. And this is exactly what happened to me while out adventuring. I was going through the bandit camps late in my playthrough to finally collect all the armor traits hidden in those collection boxes. And that's when I came across a large, empty-looking cage with a lock. Now, at first look, I thought that the object inside maybe failed to load properly, or maybe I had arrived before I had found the quest for the cage. But then I thought, well, this cage could maybe be some sort of secret. Maybe there's a big, secret, invisible creature inside that I need to rescue. So I opened it, and of course I was disappointed to find nothing. I figured, if I need to come back later, the lock will reset and whatever, no big deal. Well, only a few hours later, I was back in this area to rescue some animals for a quest. And of course, found there was no lock on the cage and no interaction to open the cage at all. So now I'm stuck with a quest I can't complete, and yes, I did try to reload the game, but it was now broken. So unless the developers release a patch that fixes this issue, I am stuck with a mission I can't finish in my menu, and I know for anyone wanting to actually 100% this game, this would be kind of like a disaster. You might even just like rage reset your game to, just do everything over again. I guess it really depends on your dedication to the game, but I know that this can be, a pretty big issue for quite a few players. And to go beyond this, I don't know what extent this issue extends. I mean, I don't know how many other side quests can be actually ruined in such a manner. For now, all I can say is, if you find an empty cage with a lock, or other pointless looking things, don't interact with them. Don't hope for the best. Just screenshot where you were, come back for it later, and avoid this issue. It's not worth finding nothing to kind of get this stuff stuck in your menu. Now, my third and last issue is potentially the worst issue I have seen during my playtime. And I want to stress, it can ruin your entire playthrough if not treated properly and quickly. So, I'm sure many of you have seen people falling through walls or glitching into areas of the castle, right? This is just because, maybe some of the wall detection or whatever wasn't quite completed in the game, whatever. However, for me, the game did it by itself. I didn't, try to glitch into an area. It just kind of did it. Early in my playthrough, I was probably about 13 hours into the game. I went to Madame Kagawa's office and completed a quest. Okay, then I saved the game and logged off. When I loaded back in a few hours later, I just ended up falling straight through the floor. And at this time, I had not bought a broom yet. I didn't have anything to fly, didn't have any way to get out of there, like you see in a lot of these glitch videos. And I couldn't really do anything. I could look up and see the outlines of the castle, but that was it. I couldn't access the map. I couldn't, spawn out of there. I couldn't do anything. So I did the only thing I really could. I reloaded the game. And of course, it just happened again. I'm there stuck, unable to move, unable to access the map. So I ended up going through my autosave files. And one at a time, I tried, loading them. And it was the same issue. Sometimes I would be, falling through the floor. Other times I would just be stuck like in the wall, unable to access menus or anything, and I couldn't do anything. So I tried it again, and I was kind of looking at, my save files, and I noticed that I was creating new autosave files, and I think the game only keeps like 5 or 6. I'm not sure if that's true, but from what I saw on my screen, it looks like I only have like 5 or 6. And I was creating new save files that were broken, that was having me stuck in the wall. And so I made kind of the choice like, okay, I can either keep trying this and potentially ruin my save file by just having autosaves and a main save that are nothing but me stuck in a wall, or I can try to go back, lose progress, but actually have a game that I can rescue. And so that's what I ended up doing. I lost a little bit of progress, but loaded in the game successfully. Now, if you would continue to do this and create these autosaves, again, you could end up with a bunch of files that are just you stuck, unable to play the game. And this would be kind of, for me, if that happened, if I didn't notice that I should just immediately load a older save, one of my like last ditch efforts to save this game, look, it would have been kind of like an, oh fuck this game moment, I don't want to play through 13 more hours of what I just did just because my game glitched out and my saves are ruined. So, don't screw around. Load from a spot that's safe and away from the last location that you were when this glitch happened. Even if you lose like 10 or 20 minutes of the game, it's saving you hours of progress from having to just completely start over. So hopefully you can avoid that. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoil sports.